Welcome back, guys. It is the start of Season 2 here on I'm So Cadizzy. After smashing all expectations in Season 1 to make the Europa League this season, we're now at the stage where we can kick off the competitive stuff again. We're going to play our first game of the season. I've got a striker to introduce you to, so we spoke about that in the last one. I needed a striker. I've got the business done with a little bit of backing, a little bit of help from my board. Let's roll that intro and I'll introduce you to him. Well, we needed a new striker and we've got one. This is the man that's come in, Karim Konate, or as we're going to call him, from now on, he will be known as Double K. So Double K is the new man, 19 years old, brought in from the club that seems to churn out wonder kids for fun, out in Austria. It's Red Bull Salzburg. We've paid $4.5 million to bring him in. Although saying that, don't get me wrong, Red Bull Salzburg certainly haven't produced this lad. He's come from the Ivory Coast, from Mimosas, where he's got a good goal scoring record. In his last season there, at the tender age of 17, he would have scored 16 goals in 22 games in the top division out in the Ivory Coast. Joined Red Bull, only played 5 times last year, but contributed to 4 goals in those 5 games and already looks like a really solid prospect. So I forked out $4.5 million to bring him to the club, which I'm hoping will be a bargain. At 19 years old, this lad could prove to be our number one striker for years to come. Even if not this season, this could be a wonder kid in the making, potentially. $4.5 million, I didn't have that in the budget, granted. I bidded $4.5 million, I got it accepted by Red Bull. I went to the board and said, make this deal happen. They took a little bit of persuading. They didn't just bend over straight away, but after a little bit of gentle persuasion from myself, telling them how important I felt Double K would be to our future, they managed to make the deal happen for me and give me a little bit of extra budget. So thank you again to my bosses who have done nothing but support me since I took over the club, and I can't knock them. So let's take a look at Konate's stats. He's a brave striker. He's a strong striker. Not the tallest at 5'10", but he's got a bit of everything to offer. Although he doesn't excel in any area right now, he's got a bit of everything in every area. He's got a half decent work rate, half decent decision making, half decent composure, half decent finishing, half decent pace. He's an aggressive frontline striker to lead the line. Very much a pressing forward. After joining us after $4.5 million, he's already valued at 5 to 8.2. So already on financials looks like a good deal. He's played 3 times this season in the African Under-23 Cup of Nations, scored 2 goals as well for the Ivory Coast. So yeah, I'm hoping that this kid's going to prove to be the one. At the moment, he's agreed playing time's only breakthrough prospects. There is certainly no pressure on me to be giving him first team football this year. However, he is in the first team squad and training with the first team to hopefully help him improve as quickly as possible. And I certainly do intend to use the kid. So that's the striker situation that we so desperately needed to resolve. Hopefully resolved. Bearing in mind I've got a few other players that are a bit more experienced who can come in and play up front, so it's not like he's sort of leading the line by himself as a young kid with a lot of pressure on his shoulders. The situation with Brian Ocampo has slightly progressed. He's still not left the club. He is still unhappy. And as you can see, we do now have interest from the likes of Dynamo Zagreb and Torino. Now, Dynamo Zagreb did make an offer of £7.75 million. I did accept it. I was willing to let Ocampo go for that. After all, it does effectively nearly get to his valuation. I mean, this valuation is based on the fact of what I've set his price tag at now at 10.25. Just trying to push the boat out a little bit. But he is actually only valued realistically up to about 8.5, so I accepted 7.5. However, he can't be that miserable because he rejected Dynamo Zagreb's offer and didn't leave the club. However, I am expecting bids imminently with major interest coming in from, again, Zagreb have not dropped their interest in the player, and Torino have now joined the race as well. So I still expect an unhappy Ocampo to be leaving the club. Gustavo Assunção and Mateus Fernandes, two of the youngsters that I brought in last year, are attracting interest, although no further bids have come in. Nice, I think the latest their offer was about 3 million. Just taking the absolute mick, to be perfectly honest, and there was no way I was ever going to be accepting that. Mateus Fernandes, we've had no offer for him, but Las Palmas looking at a loan deal, but he won't be going there. He is the direct backup in that attacking midfield role to Alex Fernandez, so I don't expect him to leave. Other than that, there's not really been any other change since you was last here in terms of transfers. Oh no, there has. I'm forgetting. How could I forget Pedro Neto? I can't believe I nearly forgot a player that's worth 65 to 78 million pounds. Yes, Pedro Neto is here on loan for the season from Wolves. So we've brought him in. I wanted to add in a winger, but just because obviously I'm concerned about Ocampo leaving, he is going to most likely be leaving the club. We had nothing in the transfer budget, so I needed someone that I could bring in that I thought could do a job where I could only agree a wage deal, couldn't agree to pay any monthly fees or anything like that. And a lot of clubs take the mick at this time of the year and really want to sort of charge you sort of £300,000 a month just for a player on loan, and it's just extortion. However, Wolves were reasonable and said, look, as long as you pay 80% of his wages, we'll be happy. So Pedro Neto is here for the season. He should definitely be able to add something to our squad. Brings with him a lot of pace and acceleration, a lot of flair, good dribbling skills. He's a real exciting player for the fans, and I'm hoping Pedro Neto will be a good loan addition for the next 12 months. I can't believe I nearly forgot him. I do apologise, Pedro. You are important, honestly. I don't believe, if I remember rightly, although as you've just seen, my memory is dreadful. I've not been on Football Manager for a couple of days just because I've been busy, hence why I forgot about that one. The only other departure from the club has been Alvaro Jimenez. So he's joined Leganes for a fee of 500,000. Again, a winger that just wasn't going to get my squad. He was out on loan last season in La Liga 2 and didn't impress really at all at the lower level. So there's no way he was going to be making my squad. And he leaves the club for $500,000. So financially, we're still extremely secure, 25 million in the bank. We are currently spending under our wage budget by 40k, although you will see the committed spending is saying that we're going to go over. Now, the reason for that is because we have a deal potentially in the offing for Sergi Guardiola from Real Valladolid. Now, I don't think this is going to happen because I'll be honest with you, I made this deal when we was looking at signing Double K. The Double K deal was finalised, and Sergi Guardiola, who I've got a deal with 1.4 million agreed. He's a bit of an older striker, had a good season down at in La Liga last year for Real Valladolid, who got relegated. Scoring 10 goals for a side that got relegated isn't a bad return. However, whether this deal is now going to happen or not will very much depend on the fact of if the board decide to sanction it, which I don't think they will, then maybe, but I probably am just going to cancel it because it's going to take us well over that wage budget, even though that will probably slightly even out when Ocampo leaves the club. But that's where we are on transfers, on deals and everything else since you was last here. We have finished our friendly schedule and it hasn't gone as planned over the last few games. Things just are not going right. Logroñez lost 2-1 to a team in the lower divisions in Spain. Really disappointing to lose that game. We were, again, like most friendlies this summer, we were heavily dominant but struggled to put the ball in the back of the net. 28 shots and 61% possession. It is proving to be a real problem scoring goals. Then we suffered a home defeat against Dortmund. To be forgiven, one of the bigger teams in Europe. Granted, was always going to be a tough go. Pedro Neto did not have a good friendly debut for us. Played pretty badly. Just not a good day at the office all round. And then a 1-1 draw with Anderlecht. Tried a slightly different formation, but yeah, it's a very even game. We had a player sent off in the 52nd minute, San Amaterio, so I'm guessing sort of a 1-0 draw is decent. And Pedro Neto did get on the score sheets and made up for that really poor performance in his first game at the club. So that's where we're at, friendlies wise. We're ready to kick off the season, and you are here today to join me as we were going to kick off the season against Sporting Gijon. Who sound very much like a chicken dish. that you would have for dinner. But for now, let's nip off and just do our little press conference for the arrival of Double K. In signing a 19-year-old is Konate, a player for the future more than the present day. He's probably going to be even better in the future, but that doesn't mean he can't come in and help us right away. How much research did you and your staff put into this signing? A player who is a relative unknown. We had to move very fast to secure the player. I had to trust my instinct. Can a young player like Karim Konate break into the first team in the near future? We've signed him to make a swift improvement to the team, and he's got enough in his game to give it a real good go. Will Karim Konate live up to his price tag? I am certain he'll be worth every penny, not a doubt about it. Are you concerned that Karim Konate is of a different age profile to much of the established squad here? Will there be a generation gap? He might well bring a fresh perspective that will make us rethink some things. That's important to me. So there we go. Double K is arrived. He is announced. Press conference done. Ready now for the first game of the season. Before we do that though, let's take a look at the season preview and see what the bookies are saying. Naturally, as we'd expect, no players in the media Dream 11, completely dominated once again by Real Madrid and Barcelona players, with just the one player from Atletico Madrid, Belgian elite winger Yannick Carrasco is in there. With regards to us, the bookies don't expect us to be, they expect us to do better than we did last season in terms of what they expected us to do last season, considering we was meant to be sort of 15th, 16th, so they think we've improved. However, they don't think we'll match the heights of what we did last season. They don't think we'll be making top 7 European places again. And we are 200 to 1 to win the title. So we're still well off the pace in terms of that. I suppose it's good to see that they're giving us a little bit more respect, but maybe not enough respect based on what we achieved last year. Real Madrid, again, are odds-on favourites, with Barcelona being their nearest rivals, as expected. Atletico Madrid, the only other team that are expected to pose any sort of threat to the big two. So let's get cracking with the first game of the season. Let's see if we can get off to a winning start after a pretty poor pre-season campaign. Before we get into that though, just as expected, the Sergi Guardiola deal did come up. We're not in desperate need for another striker now. The board didn't want to give me any more money, which is fair enough. I didn't really want to go over the wage budget, so we have cancelled that deal. So Sergi Guardiola will not be joining the football club, at least for now. While we're on the subject of signings, we'll take a look and see what deals have been done in Spain, sort of any notable ones there. And as we see here, like there's not been anything massive really. I mean, Rafa Mir has joined Real Madrid, the striker. Spanish striker has joined them for 40 million from Sevilla. He had a good season last year, scored pretty much every other game for Sevilla, and he'll, I'm sure, have an impact for Real Madrid as he looks to take over the throne of Karim Benzema. However, that being the biggest deal in Spain, not a huge amount of money spent. Barcelona's biggest deal is Robert Skov, the Danish, I say winger. He can pretty much play anywhere, fullback, wingback, left back, through the middle. Yeah, really versatile player. And to be fair, out of the two deals, probably prefer this one for 17 million than the Mir deal for 40 million. However, when Mir scores 50 goals this season and finishes up with a golden boot, I will be naturally proven very wrong. Over in England, biggest deals of the summer have been Joshua Kimmich has joined Manchester City from Bayern Munich. I believe it was Bayern Munich. Yeah, it is Bayern Munich. In an £83 million deal. And you can see from his stats, absolute world class. World class. These are the sort of players that we can only dream about having at Cadizzy at the moment. So Joshua Kimmich joins Manchester City. Arsenal's biggest transfer, have broken their transfer record in the signing of Tune Koopmeiners, the Dutch defensive midfielder, and again, world-class statistics. Really good signing for the Gunners as they bolster their central midfield with a £78 million signing from Atalanta, who made incredible profit on a player that they only paid £12 million for a couple of seasons ago. You will see as well, Jack Grealish has moved on quite quickly. He joins Liverpool from Manchester City. He's not done terrible at Man City, but yeah, they've quite happily taken which is quite surprising, taken a 35 million cut loss on Jack Grealish in just 2 seasons to go to their main title rivals. So yeah, Jack Grealish is officially now a Liverpool player, and as Newcastle continue to spend the big bucks, their biggest signing of the summer has been £71 million Declan Rice. So yeah, there's been a lot more money changing hands in England with some massive signings going on over there. But as far as Spain goes, it's been relatively quiet so far. So at our squad page for game day, it's the first game of the season, and as you'll see, we've got a bit of an injury crisis to kick things off. Is it a crisis? I don't know. I think it is a bit of a crisis. Luis Hernandez, centre-back, granted, not going to be first choice this year, but he's out for up to 3 months with an injury. Todd Cantwell, new signing, out for the first couple of weeks of the season, so he's going to miss the first 2, 3, maybe 4 games of the season. Manor Solomon, he's out for up to 3 months, new signing, not going to play. And on top of that, I can't register on Osmacic. And the reason for that being, he's under, basically he doesn't qualify based on his wage, so he's not earning enough money, but he won't sign a new contract. So I've tried to offer him, I mean, he's on 2,100. I think that you've got to be paid £2,400 to be able to play, to be able to be registered, and I can't register him because he won't sign a new contract unless I offer him like £20,000 a week, which I'm not going to do for a player that's only a squad rotation. So unless me and him can come to some sort of arrangement, it's sort of left me a little bit short because I'm being stubborn. I'm putting my foot down. Brian Ocampo's throwing his dummy out the pram. He's not even making the bench, even though he's fit, and even though we're short in numbers because we've got Cantwell and Solomon injured in the attacking midfield roles, I'm still not picking him. I refuse to. My stubbornness has kicked in, and I need to show that I'm the boss. So tactics for day one, this is going to be the lineup. We're starting with Ledesma and Zaldur and Espino in the fullback positions as of last year. Both new centre-back signings are in. Hugonet and Comas are both starting. That's the new centre-back pairing. Now, as you can see, I've made a few changes along the way to this tactic for the start of this year as well. So what we've done, I've actually pushed a higher defensive line, whereas last year we played standard. That's because these two are a little bit quicker than what I had last year. So I think that we can get away with a higher line to push the players close together. Asensio starts in this role, which is normally a box-to-box. However, that's not really suited to his football. So I've just got him set as a central midfielder support. And as you can see, I've got a few personalised roles here, which is something I'm going to introduce more this year. So as players play, within certain roles, they will have more personalised positions, so that hopefully when we make substitutions in games, it will have more of an impact. That's the plan anyway. So Asensio, the only instructions he's got is shoot less and stay wider. Bohannon, like I said, he was bought to be a deep lying playmaker, so he's playing exactly that role. Again, stay wider and take more risks. Bongonda is going into an inside forward role, and Pedro Neto can play over here as an inverted winger, or he can play as a more traditional winger down the left. More traditional winger is not something I've done though thus far, but I'm going to try it out with Neto. He's got the pace to beat his man, he's got the dribbling ability to get past, and he's not a bad crosser of the ball, so I don't think it's the worst thing in the world to try him in that role and see. He could excel. He's got the stats to excel. Alex Hernandez gets the on-ganch role, and Ruben Sobrino gets the attacking role, which again, I've switched to a pressing forward as opposed to an advanced forward for this opening game of the season. Subs bench is packed up, but like I said, because we've got this bit of an injury crisis going on, I'm lacking options in these attacking midfield roles. So we have got Salif Sarr and George Molina from the under-19s have been called up and may get to play. Salif Sarr's 16 years old. Looks like a decent prospect for the future, but whether he's ready now is another matter. But I just don't have a choice. They have to play. Salif Sarr, the 16-year-old, wants the number 10 shirt. Yeah, you've got absolutely no hope, mate. No hope whatsoever. Double K makes the bench for the opening day of the season, so I didn't want to throw him straight in as a starter, the 19-year-old. So Ruben Sabrino starts, but I'm sure that we will see Double K off the bench at some point. I am going to just tell the lads I want to be impressed today. Go out and put on a show. Not going to do any individual instructions at the moment. Opposition instructions, they are very much a 4-4-2 setup, the newly promoted Sporting Gijon side. We're not going to focus on any of their players as individual. I just want us to focus on our own tactical performance today. Do you think the first goal here will be crucial? It's always important to score goals. Do you hope your team can produce today? I hope for a performance in every match, like everyone else. How are the squad feeling right now? What's the sense you get of the mood? We are feeling happy and confident and ready to play football. Let's be as positive as we can for this opening day of the season. Now, 4-4-2 was a formation that we didn't really come up against that much last year, if at all, from what I really remember. So this could be interesting, something different. We have got no less than, I think, 4 players making their debut for the club. 4 summer signings making their debut for the club on the opening day of the season. As you can see, Athletic Club de Bilbao and Real Betis have already played and already recorded early wins to kick off their season with 3 points. And we are officially underway. Like I said, our biggest issue in pre-season has certainly been scoring. We've had no issues with dominating games and creating stupid amounts of chances. We've just not been putting them away. So hopefully we're not going to suffer from that here on the opening day as we look to kick things off with a win. However, 24 minutes into the game and not a single chance created. But here is Bohannon, who's going to fly a free kick in, and it's Bongonda gets over the head and it hits the crossbar. Beat the keeper. It almost looked like it was going to drop down over the line, but didn't quite have enough on it. Alex Fernandez now with the corner. He pings it in, and it's Comas at the front post, but he's beaten to the ball, and now Gijon are going to look to counter-attack, but Rosas finds himself out on the right wing with no support, and he puts a hopeful ball into the middle, and there's not a single Gijon player near it. Zaldua comfortably brings the ball down, and we look to build our own attack now from the back. And it's Espino at left back to Bohannon in central midfield, who puts a nice low pass through the Gijon midfield up to Sabrino, who is tackled. It all looks a little bit sloppy from both sides at the moment. And it's back with Espino again, and Pedro Neto's dropped in to pick the ball up on the left side. And he's cut right into central midfield and put a long ball over the top for Bongonda, who beats his man, and he scores. Theo Bongonda scores our first goal of the season. Get in. Great finish. It was. The commentary at the bottom of the page there is absolutely right. That was inspired by Pedro Neto. Don't get me wrong, as a conventional winger role that I'm asking him to play, he's not asked to do that, to come all the way into the centre circle and then play a ball, but that just shows the versatility of a quality player and what an impact the youngster has had on loan from Wolves on his first day of the season. He bags an assist, and a brilliant assist at that. Tidy little finish from Theo as he beats his man, cuts inside onto his left foot, and slots past the keeper quite comfortably. So a real good goal, and we're very much in control of the game. I mean, it is only 1-0, but we have had all of the possession, 13 shots on goal. However, I definitely think that we do have to we do have to find another gear to take charge of the game. I'd like to see us go out and get a goal in the first 10 to 15 minutes. Certainly don't want to concede straight away. And Gijon did have a corner, and it took a good save from Ledesma to actually keep that out. And it's dangerous, and Gijon wasted it with a wasteful long shot effort there. But that's not good to come out, and in the first couple of minutes of the second half, we're under pressure from set pieces there. Now, we took a little while to settle into the first half and then really started to exert our dominance, and it very much looks like we're doing the same here in the second. We're 15 minutes in, and now Sabrino's picked the ball up deep, plays it back to Bohannon, who uses Espino, who's in that inverted wing-back role, and Pedro Neto now in that winger position. He's looking to take his man. He plays a nice through ball to Alex Fernandez, but his shot is blocked. But it's landed with Theo Bongonda out on the right wing, who uses his full-back support, Zaldua, and plays it back to Huganay, who's going to use Bohannon, who uses Alex, and Alex plays a nice little through ball, but it's good defending from Gijon. They keep that one out, they break down the play, and don't allow us to get a shot off. And then a real long ball, real hopeful, but nothing comes of it for them, and we're back on the ascendancy again. Now Gustavo SSL puts it out wide to Bongonda, who's going to look to get onto his favoured left foot, puts the ball in. Alex, I think that was a shot. I don't think that was a pass. He might tell me differently at full time, but I think that was a bit of a scuff shot. But it landed straight at the feet of Ruben Sobrino, who scores on the opening day of the season. He was given the nod to play up front, and he's just poked a leg out. It's I definitely think that was a shot from Alex Fernandez, but we'll take it. We will take it. So we should go on to win this game from here. 2-0 up against a newly promoted side. I certainly would be bitterly disappointed for us to throw 3 points away from this position, and it should be a solid start to the season. With 23 minutes to go, a third would be really nice just to put the game to bed anytime soon. And Gijon now, and Zaldu has nicely cleared up the long ball again, and that's all Gijon have really offered all game. Really, they haven't really offered anything at all in terms of actual play and building moves. They've just, he says, as they're now starting to actually build something, but in general, it's just sort of been hopeful long balls or hopeful long shots like that, and another one there from Gaspar that was never going to trouble Ledesma from that range. So with 20 minutes to go, we're going to get Ruben Sobrino off, and we're going to give Double K a run out. We're going to give the youngster a little run out, and again I'm just going to switch him to a pressing forward rather than an advanced one, and see if the 19-year-old, he's got 20 minutes to see if he can get himself a debut goal for the club. But it is Gijon that have got a free kick, which they fly over, quite a floated cross into the corner. But it's given us a perfect opportunity now to counter-attack. And Bongonda, who's been lively all game. And here is Double K. And he's got himself a debut goal. He's only been on the pitch for 5 minutes. And Double K, the future wonder kid of Cadiz, has his first goal for the club. It only took him 4 minutes. £4.5 million. Bargain. Great ball from Alexander. Lovely little piece of control from Karim. He takes it away from his man, and then a lovely shot into the bottom left corner. Keeper no chance. Pinpoint accuracy. Double K. The fans love you already, son. And again, it's Gijon with an opportunity there from a free kick, which comes to nothing. Let's see if let's just see any of these players here that are still lacking a little bit of match fitness now from pre-season. So we're going to get Momo on for a bit, and Arzamendia. Just give them a few minutes, just 10 minutes on field, just to continue to build their match sharpness at the start of the season. And yeah, we should just see this out now for a 3, or maybe if we can just bag another one, maybe even a 4-0 win on the opening day, which would be a real statement of intent that we are here to compete again this year. We're not here just to make up the numbers and be relegation strugglers. And Double K's in again, but it's a good sliding tackle, to be fair, from Rosas. But Double K's having a little jingle with the ball there, like switching it from side to side, and yeah, he ended up getting tackled, to be fair. The youngster, a little bit of overconfidence there, Double K. But Theo Bongonda again, and he's tackled, and again Gijon have wasted it with a ball forward that's easily cut out. Pedro Neto now down the left, beats his man, low cross, and that looks like a foul. That is definitely a foul. It has been given by the referee. Whether this is going to be looked at by VAR to confirm it, but to me it is a stone cold penalty. Went straight through the back of him. Yeah, absolutely no doubt in my mind whatsoever. And Alex Fernandez has a chance to make it 4 with 4 minutes of the game to go. And never any doubt, straight down the middle, powerful effort, nice low shot, sends the keeper to his left. And Alex Fernandez has an opening day strike as well. And with that, Alex Fernandez is just going to give Mateus Fernandez a few minutes, and to be fair, just for the sake of it, just because we can, because we're 4-0 up and there's 4 minutes left, let's give one of these youngsters a little run out. Let's give Salif Sarr a little run out. Why not? We've got nothing to lose. Let's give the 16-year-old a little debut, a little cameo. Just avoid Pedro Neto picking up a needless injury in the dying minutes of this game as well, especially with us being so short with attackers at the moment because of injuries. And there we have it. 4-0 victory. Opening day, we'll take that. Happy days. The newly promoted side did not give us anything to worry about at all. Didn't cause us any issues whatsoever. Given the present set of circumstances, how big is this result? We got precisely what our play warranted, so yes, there's little doubt that the result is massive for us. Are you looking to give your players a rest day after such an impressive performance? I haven't decided that yet. I don't think they need a rest after the first day of the season. What a spellbinding display that was. Is that how you saw it too? I'm absolutely delighted. We were terrific. Sporting Gijon hammered by Cadizzy. Hammered, and Pedro Neto gets some media praise for his debut for the club, in which he was extremely impressive. So yes, that is it. Opening day done. 3 points on the board. Win. 4 goals scored. No goals conceded. Perfect start. Thank you very much. We will take that. I will welcome you guys back after a few games. I'm going to go away, play a few games. Actually, saying that, the Europa League draws got to be coming up pretty soon. So we may just kick off. What I'm going to do, I will save that draw because I want us to experience that together. I'll record a bit of video around that, but I am going to go and play through a few games, and we'll sort of return after sort of like maybe 5, 6, 7 games of the season, and play another one together. But for today, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. As always, yeah, if you want to subscribe to this channel, if you like this video, then the subscribe button is down there. Well, I say button, the subscribe link is down there, top line of your description. Hit that, subscribe, and follow me, please. I'll see you all soon. Cheers, guys.